Morning, everybody, from the Rancho. Had to run some errands this morning. Today it's not going to be the heaviest day, but there's a few things I want to get accomplished that I'm going to talk about now. I made some dough for pizza later on, so I hope you'll join me in Rancho Kitchen Stadium tonight, because that barbecue grill, that old bomber, rebuilt and everything, kicks out some really great pizza, and I'm looking forward to that. I like to eat well on a day that I work hard. I'm walking through the orchard now. You know, a lot of cleanup has been done, spraying, getting ready for the next season. So people ask me about the trees. I have really, some years you just got to bite the bullet and really prune the tree back so you have a really strong structure that doesn't fall over. A lot of people let their trees just bear heavy, and they end up getting busted up because the structure, the skeleton, can't hold all the fruit that's allowed to come to fruiting, and also the quality of fruit is not as good as it would be if it was pruned and thinned and things like that. But all of that takes some work. See, yesterday, fence is looking good. That redwood will naturally color out and match. But let's go back at the Rancho and see what's going on here. What's going on here is one messy, well, it's just a messy corner. I've never really liked it back here. It gets crazy, and when it rains again in spring, it's going to go nutty. But yeah, I've got the fence propped up. Who knows? I don't know. I haven't been able to find those stakes that hold them up. That's still holding good there. I'm happy. But don't ever plant a fig tree unless you know what you're getting into. Figs are like a super pain. This is, you know, how do you define a trunk on this thing? Right? So I got to come in here today and cut this up and clean this up and try to get this back good. I've got some old moonshine barrels I need to get rid of. I only need one. I know you're looking at the apple tree, the grab and seen apple. It looks like it's had it. It hasn't. You can still kick out some really nice apples, and as long as it does, in the quantity that's not going to overwhelm us, because Gravensteins don't ship well and they don't last long, we're going to be good. You can see we're starting to bud out here, and in another 2 weeks it'll officially, well, it'll be unofficial spring here in California, and I'm excited. So what do we got to do up front? The first thing I need to do is to get this wheelbarrow. You see the front of the Rancho is open. I brought the green waste barrel in. I'd like to try to cut up as much as this as possible. I do have a nice blade to do that. Go as far as I can. And then just mulch over the rest of it. Get rid of that. I know the tree of shame, this mulberry. I love it, but I hate it. I love it because it's a living thing. I hate it because it makes my life miserable. So I do have a new wheel on the wheelbarrow I want to change out here, because this one just deflates all the time. It's just a mess. All right, get rid of it. I think it's got like 10 punctures in it, so it's time to go. So let's get cracking. I know this thing looks a little joy-rigged. Well, because it is. Got some hose clamps and things holding it in position. Keep that kind of centered up there. But let's go ahead and remove one side here, and we'll be able to just take it off the get that off the spindle. With the new wheel on, I'm just using the hose clamps to kind of center it up here. Looks pretty good. It can have a little bit of a play to it, but I'm liking that. Let's tighten her down and get on with the day. I know I have to recondition these handles, start to get a little splintery. I already replaced these. They do sell replacement ones, but I guess this sitting out in the rain doesn't help. You can see how cheap the finish is these days too. Doesn't really last. It's like anything else, but I have to oil that because it starts to get splinters. All right, let's get tightened down. Yeah, I'm liking it. Good, so it'd be easy for me to transport the generator now to the back. So let's get our stuff together, head to the back, and commence to doing a little bit of cutting. Woo. The only way to fly, don't forget your eye protection. First thing I want to do is get these barrels out of here and get these more up front. We did all kinds of rum and vodkas, peach and stuff, so these barrels were all useful in moonshining. And I need to be careful in the back because of rattlesnakes and things like that. This is prime rattlesnake country right here. We just got like a salamander or a newt down there. You see the cute little guy there? He's like, man, I was having a good life. Alright, well, you best hightail it out of here. Alright. How's that for a blade? That's the pruning blade for the Sawzall. Diablo. Well, you don't want to be on the business end of that thing. Whew. But I got a job to do. I knocked down the high stuff. I'm just starting to collect the pile to be worked down, but looking pretty good. I think I'm going to run the mower over here now and see if I can work this down and mulch this up a little more and clean it up. That's what I need to do, otherwise it's like a jungle back here. Does such a good job of figs are pretty soft wood till you start to get to a big diameter, so it's really chewing through that and cleaning up the back real good. A real high calorie burn day today. Next thing I want to do is get these vines. These things really do a lot to, you may not think it, but they do a lot. This thing's hardly even holding in here. They do a lot to tear fences apart for sure. So I'm gonna nip these in the bud before these turn into full-fledged trees here over here. I don't know about you guys, but I'm awful happy the way this is looking back here. I mean, it's really weird in this corner. It was like freaking unidentified species back there. I don't know what the hell. I just saw things with a lot of legs and they're like, oh, I'm getting out of here. So yeah, come along pretty good. I'd like to rake this out a little bit and get some of this leaves off the fence. I'm always dealing with rot back here, but I really need to do my best to keep this fence going as I have for a lot of years. But this is going to allow more air to circulate back here, dry it out, and yeah, just make sure this fig tree doesn't regenerate. And I don't really know. I'll probably plant a second apple tree to replace this one. Gets most of the sun. You can see it pitches forward because, well, it's in the shadow of this enormous California oak over here. Deal with it. Some of these boards were really rotten and pulled away. So I added another helper board on here. I had some of this pressure treated 2x4. So I think this is enough to keep this good for a while. I think everything is pretty secured. I got that one in. So let me finish the cleanup. The sun's starting to go down. So this is going to be, or it's just getting chilly back here. This is going to be, looks like this is going to be a 2-day affair. Cleaning all this up. That wood was so soft it just cut up easy, but boy am I happy to get better air circulation back here. So much cleaner looking. Be careful if you ever put a fig tree in. Those things can really be a mess. I want to thank you for being along as usual today. Glad to have you on the Rancho. As I always say, there's always another project to be done, and if you're not subscribed, be a part of Rancho life here. Subscribe, hit the bell for all notifications, and as usual, your thumbs up are appreciated. Thanks, everybody.